Hello everyone and welcome to A Mortician's Tale. This game caught my interest mainly because, as the name might suggest, you get to play as a mortician and follow them around on their normal workday. I did accidentally finish the game already. I mean accidentally, it's just I was only going to play like maybe a couple hours of it to see if it would be something I would be interested in recording. This game is very short, so I ended up finishing it. And it's not really a game, but more so a visual novel. It's still pretty interesting, and it's mainly a game about what's called the Death Positive Movement, I believe is what it's called, which is something I never heard of until I played this game. So that's all I'm really going to say about it right now, and without further ado, let's start a new game. September 14th, 10:15 a.m. I forgot how to read for a second. Oh, this is a nice place. As far as a mortician's office can be. We got mail. Oh, she's so cute. Alrighty, from Matthew Jeffrey. Reply. Hello and welcome to our new funeral director. Welcome, Charlie. Nice to meet you. My name's Matthew, and I'm mainly going to be the man who delivers the bodies to you and helps with some of the more heavy lifting. Ever heard that joke about a hearse driver? That's how it's pronounced? I'll tell it to you when I come by in a bit. Looking forward to working together. I think you'll enjoy working here. Amy is a sweetheart, but she runs a tight ship. Nothing you can't handle, I'm sure. She wouldn't have hired you otherwise. Cheers and good luck. Matthew J., Funeral Director, Rose and Daughters Funeral Home. I got one from Amy Rose. Hello everyone, I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce our new funeral director, Charlotte, or Charlie as she told me she likes to be referred to. Charlie is a recent graduate who came highly recommended and is eager to begin her career here with us at Rose and Daughters Funeral Home. Please take the time to make Charlie feel at home within our little family. We'll have a nice catered lunch this afternoon so we can all get to know each other a little better as well. Sincerely, Amy Rose, founder and director, Rose and Daughters Funeral Home. And instructions. Hello, Charlie. Well, you're new here, so it's probably best I explain where everything is. In your office/preparation room, you'll find your cremation station, cremulator station, embalmment station, and obviously, since you're reading this email, your desk and computer area. I know you have experience working with these stations, but please let me know if you have any questions. Alright, Jen Love. Good luck, you beautiful and smart baby, you. I guess my subject lines you should start being a little more professional now that we are business professionals. I can't wait to get your reply so I can see your fancy new email signature. I love that you were able to land this gig straight out after graduating. It sounds super cool. I didn't even know mom and pop funeral homes were a thing until now. Guess it's just not something I really think that much about. I should look more into this, learn about your world and industry, because as I said, you are now a very serious professional, and I cannot read. Speaking of being a professional, my museum gig is amazing. I can't believe somebody paid me to move to London, and not London. Oh, and London, Ontario, killer capital of Canada. I can't read. To work in a museum. Like, take that to everyone who said I couldn't get a job with an art history degree. I'll tell you more about it when we Skype. My stories require you to see my face and that you hear my excellent British accent impersonation. Also, I signed you up for a funeral's monthly newsletter. Consider it your graduation gift / I love you / am super proud of you gift. Love you, love you, love you. Jen, Museum Curator, London Pathology Museum. Aww. From Rose. Oh, today's task. Well, we got one more I want to read real quick. Tips for good etiquette at a funeral. Funeral Monthly. Thanks for subscribing. Each month we bring you a new newsletter featuring a topic pertaining to the death industry. This month is all about good etiquette for attending, I told you I can't read, a funeral. I really can't believe we have to write this one out, but since we said we'll answer your most popular questions, here we are, because this is definitely one of the most popular questions. Funerals are a hard time, and we understand that. But here are some quick and easy rules to remember for being respectful at a funeral. Generally, following the guidelines of don't be a jerk should work. 1. Don't be on your cell phone. We understand you're busy, but this is a time and place to disengage. If you have to be on your cell phone, don't do so inside the funeral home. 2. Don't be loud and obnoxious. You can share happy stories, but other people are also grieving and working through their own healing process. Being quiet gives other people space they might need. 3. Don't get drunk. Everyone can deal with their feelings in their own ways. Just remember to be respectful when with the grieving family and friends. 4. Happily reminisce. Sometimes remembering happy moments and positive experiences with the deceased can be a productive part of the healing process. 5. Give condolences. It's not easy knowing what to say to somebody, but a simple "I'm thinking of you" can go a long way. 6. Dress appropriately. What this looks like will change based on the customs of the deceased and their culture, but always dress in a way that shows respect to the deceased and their grieving family. Number 8. Where's 7? Give a gift or sign the registration book. This can be flowers or a nice card, but it's the thought that counts here. Sometimes this can even just be cooking dinner for the grieving family. Anything that shows you care and want to help them through the healing process is what matters here. Be kind and be helpful. The fact that this is 8 and not 7 is kind of bothering me. I can't be the only one. Alright, now here we go to today's task. Hello Charlie, hope you settled in okay so far. Matthew should have dropped off your first body to work on. That is a weird sentence to read. He said you were really friendly, and he's glad to have someone young and lively to work with. You'll get used to his sense of humor. Your first body is Mrs. Garcia, an old elderly woman who died suddenly of a heart attack. The family has asked for a closed casket funeral, so no embalming or body preparation is needed. The family seems a little bit more united than previous families we've dealt with. Strange how grief affects people differently. Perhaps having more time to say goodbye makes things a bit easier, if that's possible. That being said, although you will not be embalming Mrs. Garcia, I do think it's important to take the time to clean her body. No one is going to see her body, but I'd like to encourage my funeral directors to do this out of respect for the deceased and their loved ones. You'll find Mrs. Garcia in the prep room. Talk soon! Oh, there's continue. Oh, at the very bottom. I don't know how emails work. From Mia Garcia. Dear Amy, we're happy to be with Rose and daughters for my mother's funeral. We understand that there are usually procedures that must be followed in these situations, but if you could kindly not embalm my mother, that would be greatly appreciated, and we will proceed with a closed casket for the service. I just know she wouldn't have wanted her death to have any negative impact on the environment, and since she fought so hard to beat her heart disease and to live healthily, it would be a shame to have her final moments being countered to the way she lived. Thank you for everything you can do to help us in this matter. Best, Mia. Dear Mia, of course we will happily oblige your request for no embalming and for a closed casket. I'll ensure our funeral director receives your request. Take care. Okay, so from now on with these I should check from bottom to top. Like I said, I don't know how emails work. Sure thing, I'll get right to it. Alright, time to work on our first body. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Hi, Mrs. Garcia. This is a prep room where you prepare bodies for burials and viewings. Because the family has requested a closed casket ceremony with no embalming, you are just going to clean the body. Click on the sponge and drag it over to the body cleanup. Alright. Washy. It's so weird with her staring at me. That's it, you're done. Mrs. Garcia will be sent to Mike, who will take care of dressing and putting her in the casket. It's time to go to Mrs. Garcia's funeral. You are responsible for taking care of the deceased's body, but it is also important to pay your respects to the loved ones. Follow the arrow to head to the funeral parlor. Oh, we changed it to our outfit. That's a pretty dress. Simple, but classy. Oh, what a big family. She would have hated these paintings. She was so peculiar. Yeah, at least she doesn't have to see them, I guess. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I heard the family specifically said no embalming. I thought it was mandatory, like required by law, but I guess not. Yeah, I didn't know that before playing this game either. I legit thought that you had to either be cremated or embalmed. Things you learn from games. Embalming weirds me out. Do those chemicals leach into the ground? Like, seems strange to be building a chemical that is known to cause cancer into the ground like that. Or into the sewer. That's what we must do with our leftover formaldehyde, right? Just pour it down the drain. At least embalming guarantees you won't be buried alive. What? Stop it. Don't make me laugh right now. I don't get it. Mommy, I'm hungry. When can we leave? I hate wearing pantyhose. My legs are so itchy, but it's always so cold in these funeral homes, so the body doesn't decay as fast. I think I might actually miss these sweaters. Those sweaters she used to knit for me now. We usually don't small talk a lot at these things. I guess that's what I was always taught. People say different, I can't remember. I don't think so. Yeah. That's all they say. Alright, let's pay our respects. And now we leave. Bye everyone, I'm sorry for your loss. I'm a bitch. October 11th, 10:09 a.m. Yep, gotta keep everything clean. I'm coming! Did you beep at me again? Smack you! What is this? Okay, I'm going to the bottom here. Jennifer Valentine, Charlie. Can I just rant? Can I rant for just a second? I'm so tired of hearing strangers, colleagues, anybody, male colleagues, get on my case for wearing corsets. I wear them under my blazer and over a nice blouse, so it's not like I'm dressing inappropriately, even though dress codes are such sexist BS anyways. And like, I hate how their misogyny gets veiled in a faux concern. Jen, I'm just worried you're damaging your body. You know what corsets do to livers, right? Corsets don't do anything to livers. They're definitely not hurting me as much as your condescension is hurting my head. Ugh, sorry. I'm out of sorts right now. I'll just send you another email in a little bit once I've cooled off. Okay, what's going on? Okay, so let me explain this in a bit more detail. A colleague and I were discussing the tight lacer's liver specimen we have here at the museum. It's from a woman who died in 1907, and the liver is tampered inwards from what the doctor leading the autopsy believed was too tight lacing on her corset. It's fascinating because it's kind of a controversial subject. Tight lacing was super popular, and while people associate it with fainting or hysteria, it's actually been associated with visceroptosis? Visceroptosis? I don't know. Which is when the organs fall to the lower part of the abdomen, right? Which is super unsettling, but can also be caused by being pregnant, so... TLDR, corsets probably messed up some bones, but likely didn't have this kind of internal organ damage. And I'm tired of the condescension about my wardrobe that also implies I don't know what I'm doing. These are the kind of things I specifically research and yet am treated like I know nothing about. I'm having a day, Charlie. Oh, I'm sorry, Jen. Alright, oh, I think we're gonna thank you from the family. Hi, Amy. Please pass along our deepest thanks to you and your staff for the wonderful job they did with our mother's funeral. It was really lovely. Our family so rarely gets together. It was nice seeing everyone come out for such a beautiful service. My son never gets to see his family. Also, it was incredibly kind of you to let us bring our own food in. Getting to share home-cooked meals, sharing stories, being there together, it meant a lot. So what I'm saying is, it was nice for everyone to be there like that, together in that way. And I know how much of that was due to the work of your staff, especially your funeral director. Thank you for making this difficult time easier for all of us. Best, Mia. Alright, Rose, just passing this message along. Thank you for the hard work, Charlie. Anything I can do. Hey, Matthew, what you talk? I almost called him Jeffrey. I read the Jeffrey part. Hey there, Charlie. I was driving around the other day, you know, taking our clients to their on our last trip around town, and I was thinking, strange, I know, did I ever tell you the first time I went to a funeral? I was a teenager about to start university, and a friend of mine was killed in a car accident, totally out of the blue. Really tragic stuff, messed me and my friends up real bad. But so the big day, we all got into our best suits and dresses and packed ourselves into a few cars. There were a lot of us, so we had at least 3 different cars full of us, like clown cars, you know? While we were in the procession getting to the cemetery, somebody in our car got a phone call from a friend in a different car. Turns out, some asshat driver who doesn't know not to get in the way of her procession drove through the intersection and smashed straight into our friends' cars. Nobody was hurt, thank God, but can you imagine getting that call? Anyways, one of my friends in the same car as me, the one who got the phone call, hung up and started laughing. Just laughing her ass off in that way that makes you not sure if you're really just crying or they've gone fully off the deep end. And she laughed, and then we all started giggling because, like, go figure, life is messed up sometimes, you know? There's no moral, no point to the story, I guess. I just remember that story and wanted to tell you, because we work with death all the time, and I still sometimes get caught off guard by what that actually means. Before you get any ideas, this has nothing to do with why I became a funeral director. That decision came totally later, and is nothing unremarkable. Somebody has to do it, and I have a strong stomach, so why not? I'll see you in a bit, Charlie. Alright, what does the Funeral Monthly got to us? What to wear when you're attending a funeral from a different culture. We all know everybody wants to be respectful at funerals. Don't talk too loudly, be kind, smile, and refrain from making inappropriate jokes, at least around a grieving family. Hey, sometimes some people do need a little bit of pick-me-up during such hard times. Who are we to judge? And a big part of that is knowing what to wear. Roman Catholic funerals tend to lean more to the formal black attire rule, and it works for us. Did you know this goes back to the days of the Roman Empire where people would wear black as a symbol for mourning? Black isn't universally the symbol for mourning, though, and if you're attending a funeral that is from a culture that is not your own, it's important to understand this. Some colors have different meanings, and despite your best intentions, the wrong choice can mean accidental offense. For example, in Hinduism and in Chinese culture, white is a typical color for funerals. For Islam, though, it is less about the color you are wearing and more about how modestly you dress. Refrain from wearing any elaborate jewelry and be respectful of your behavior. For Sikh, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, funerals, color of the clothing isn't as important as is dressing modestly and being able to appropriately sit cross-legged. I meant to say crisscross, same thing, I believe. Actually, being respectful is just the number one rule for any funeral, no matter what, really. Remember that, and please don't hesitate to ask what is and isn't appropriate to wear. If you're attending to support a friend, family member, or partner, this day is not about you. So be sure to do whatever you can to be as respectful and supportive as possible. Even if that means not wearing what you're used to wearing to a funeral, or even if it just means asking how you can appropriately show your respects. I like this little newsletter thing because this is actual true stuff. So that's nice. But it's stuff that isn't really talked about, unless you really ask questions. Anyways, what's our task for the day? Hi Charlie, here are the instructions for your next body. You did a remarkable job on the first one. The family was very happy with you. All I did was cleaned it. No small feat, of course. Pleasing a grieving family isn't exactly the most comfortable of jobs. Your next job is a man named Mr. Duval. An elderly man died of old age. Nothing fancy, just a standard funeral with embalming. You can reach out to his daughter, Lizzie Duval, if you have any questions. She's handling her father's passing as well as can be expected. As always, don't hesitate to ask me any questions. Oh god, P.S. Charlie dear, please remember to wear appropriate embalming gear. Formaldehyde is extremely dangerous. I know I don't need to tell you, but my maternal instincts are hard to ignore. I promise I won't mother you too much. Well, just a little. Ask Matthew, he knows. Alright, I'll get right on it. Our first embalming. We're wearing the proper attire. We look like we're about to perform surgery. Fitting. Traditional burials typically require embalming, which preserves the body and prevents it from decomposing as quickly. I don't see what the big deal is about a body not decomposing as quickly. Well, I was gonna say unless you're not gonna bury the body right away, but most funerals I've gone to, we've had the service and then immediately took the body to be, or the casket to be buried, so I don't know. Let's just get to this. Unless the body requests otherwise, all traditional burials will use embalming. Let's start by cleaning the body. Click the sponge and drag it over. Click the razor and drag it over the body to shave it. It's so creepy with her eyes looking. In order to break rigor mortis, you will have to massage the body. Click and drag the body to massage it. Yeah, Morticians actually have to touch the dead body and do this. I didn't know this. The eyeballs deflate once the body starts decomposing. Click and drag an eye cap into each eye socket and to give it shape. To keep the eyes shut, you'll have to glue them. Click and drag glue onto each eye to shut it. Oh my god. The mouth sags and hollows once the body starts decomposing. Click and drag a cotton ball into the mouth to give it shape. To keep the mouth from opening, you'll need to suture it shut. Click and drag the needle and thread over the jaw to close it. Click and drag the lotion over the body to moisturize it. This prevents the skin from drying out. I have a newfound respect for morticians, especially since I have an uncle who is actually a mortician. That's one of the main things that really did interest me about this game. Embalming involves removing blood and replacing it with preserving chemicals. Click and drag the scalpel over the neck to make an incision. You will need a tube for draining the blood. Click on the tube and drag it to the neck incision. Click on the cannula and drag it to the carotid artery. This is how you'll get the preserved chemicals into the bloodstream. Now you will need to connect the embalming machine to the cannula, drag the additional tubing and drag it to the thing. Is that it? Okay. Click the button on the embalming machine. In order to evenly distribute the chemicals, you will have to massage them through the body. So we're pretty much doing the same thing we did when we had to get rid of the living mortis. Only a little extra. People choose to do this for a living. I have such a profound respect for them. You definitely have to be not fazed by death very much to do something like this. Can this go faster, please? Okay, there it goes, thank God. Great, now let's stitch up this incision. Almost done. You will need to drain the organs of any remaining fluids. Click on the trocar and then click and hold on the abdomen until all the liquid has been drained. Oh, good. Click and hold. 1, 2, and 3. And you're done! Michael, take care of Mr. Duval's makeup as well as dressing and putting him in his casket. It's time to attend the funeral. Follow the head to go to the parlor. I just noticed that the little loading thing in the corner was a skull. I never noticed that. Oh, open casket is so creepy. Came out of nowhere. I mean, it always sorta does, doesn't it? Yeah, 1 minute you're laughing, having fun, then the next, poof, that person is gone. Just, like, gone. It's weird to think about for too long, like staring at the sun. I start to feel a little fuzzy when I think about it. So weird how our bodies just stop working like that. Yeah. What you guys say? So strange not seeing most people wearing white. White? Yeah, I think it's different for different family members. I can't remember. I haven't gone to many traditional funerals. So mostly white, but like definitely not red, no matter what. He always wanted to have his grandkids. He always wanted to take his grandkids to the park and play catch. He loved playing catch. He threw a mean curveball, that's for sure. Get off of your Game Boy! Or your DS! Humming to himself. I guess because he's a kid, he doesn't really comprehend it, but come on, kiddo. Rest in peace, sir. December 2nd, 10:22 a.m. I think we start today at like 10, maybe 9. Alright. I'm coming! Shut up! Alright, read all of this first. From Lizzie Duvall. Hi Amy. Thank you for the wonderful evening you and your staff put together for my father's funeral. He wasn't always an easy man to get along with, but I'm glad to see him off in such a kind way. Passing on this lovely note. Thank you, note. Yeah. Alright, Jen. What you got for me? This is the only thing? Yeah, it's the only thing. I want to check what I read. Charlie, I was doing some reading. I know you hate when I try to give you dating advice, but hear me out. There's this dating site that's specifically for people working in the death industry. Okay, so maybe I am a little worried for you. You haven't mentioned anybody new since the breakup of 2014. That we will never talk of again except after this moment. But you were always saying how tired you get of people being scared to ask about your day, so maybe meeting somebody in the industry isn't the worst idea. Just promise me you'll consider it, okay? It's harder for me to make sure you're seeing daylight when I'm all the way across the ocean. I know you look like a babe with pale skin and witchy, gothic aesthetics are super hot right now, but vitamin D is still a good thing. As you know, I'm very deficient in vitamin D. I really should leave my room more often. Mom ran over. I'm going to try it out because it turns out people get super scared off when you tell them you work in a museum filled with dead bodies. Do you know how not interested teratomas? Charlie, I didn't know we were this weird to outside people. You never do when you're the weird one. I've been spoiled by having a best friend who is as much of a weirdo as I am. Miss you. Let's grab a bottle of wine for our next Skype date. P.S. If you sign up for Dead Meat, isn't that the best name for a death industry dating website? Tinder rules apply. You have to like me if you come across my profile or whatever. I'm not sure how it works just yet, though. Okay. Pay click comes soon. Sorry. What's going on? Hey Matthew, this is embarrassing, but it seems I miscalculated some of our income and I don't have enough to pay you this week. If you need the money urgently, please let me know. I feel terrible about this whole thing and I can cut you a check for my personal account if need be. I'm so sorry about this. I assure you it won't happen again. Take care. Oh no. I don't like the look of this, not one bit. I know you've only been with us for a few months, but maybe you're aware of the trouble. Can't compete with the bigger guys. Anyway, don't tell Amy I sent this to you. Also, I'm starving, so I'm going to grab some fast food before taking the Harris through the car wash. 2 birds, 1 stone, and swinging back to the home. Do you want anything? A beef and cheddar? Oh, you go into Arby's, you better be getting me some freaking curly fries too. I'm going to take the Harris through the drive-thru though. Of course, it freaks people out. I love it. They get so awkward. Let me know. I'm heading out in 15 minutes. You better bring me a beef and cheddar and some curly fries. Fucking love Arby's curly fries. LGBTQ funerals. Respect. This is the one that really interested me when I played it through the first time. If you've been a long-term subscriber to our emails or follow us on social media, you've no doubt heard about the misgendering that transgender people are at times subjected to during their funerals. There have been notable situations where trans women have had their wishes overruled by their families and have had their hair cut, are buried under the wrong names, and subjected to the wrong pronouns in their obituary announcements. We care a lot about this because we believe in treating every person with the same level of compassion, respect, and care, and this absolutely extends to pronouns and respecting deceased's wishes upon their lived experiences. The CDC's Funeral Director's Handbook on Death Registration and Fatal Death Reporting offers a directive. Enter male or female based on observation. Do not abbreviate or use other. Cannot be determined after verification with medical records, inspection of the body, or other sources. Enter unknown. Don't leave this term blank. Leaving it up to observation, obviously, since bodies can be so different, and because of ingrained bias, people can draw incorrect assumptions based on their own inaccurate Observations. California has passed what is known as that the death certificate must reflect the gender identity as they lived it. So a step in the right direction. Good on you, California. People who are trans deserve the same respect and death that people who are cisgendered receive. Misgendering in death takes away from this respect. It can also inflict hurt and trauma on spouses and families spouses and friends that survive the deceased. Come into your office. An agenda? Oh God. I am sorry. In America, especially since some marriages may not be recognized as legal depending on the laws around same-sex marriage. But this doesn't mean you're not dealing with two people who have loved each other in the same way as another couple. Listen, learn, and always be respectful. While you have to work within the next of kin, your duty is also to ensure the deceased receives the utmost respect at their burial. If a funeral is to honor the deceased, then do that. Honor them. Alright, cremation! Hello, Charlie. Today's funeral is for a woman who died from breast cancer. Nothing fancy, just a standard cremation. Don't hesitate to ask me if you have any questions. Best, Amy Rose. Okay, I'm on it. Our first cremation. Yay. Before we cremate Mrs. Hall, we'll need to prepare her body. Mrs. Hall's family brought clothing and jewelry for her to wear. It's important to remove these before the cremation process has to not damage them. Let's start by removing Mrs. Hall's necklace. Click and drag the item onto the tray. We'll need to be able to identify Mrs. Hall's remains after she's been cremated. Click on the roundification tag and place it in the coffin. I almost said casket. Great! Mrs. Hall is all set to be cremated now. Press the button! I didn't know that the bodies were cremated in actual coffins. I thought it was just straight up the body. No coffin. Alright, what's next? This is the cremulator. Contrary to popular belief, cremation doesn't burn the body into ash so much as bone fragments. Using the cremulator will break these bone fragments down into ash-like remains. Let's start by placing the urn in the cremulator. I keep changing my pronunciation of it, I'm sorry. Drag that there, click and drag the bone fragments and drag them to the top of the machine. Toby? Oh, not Toby. I'm sorry, that was disrespectful. Now that all the bones have been processed, click on the urn and place it back on the counter. Make sure to put Miss Hall's necklace back in the urn. Click on the necklace and place it in the urn. Don't forget to tag. Last step, click on the urn's lid and place it on top. All done, Amy will take the urn to the funeral parlor and present it alongside some flowers. It's time to attend the funeral. Follow the arrow and go to the parlor. Yeah, I always thought that the fire just burned everything. This is why this game is so fascinating. She'd like that we're all here talking. She always tried to keep the family together. The food is delicious. I know that's weird, but these crab cakes are perfect. Okay. Glad she was cremated and not in like an open casket or something. Seeing her like that, I don't know if I could have. At least we all got to say goodbye. She would have liked that. That's always nice. She fought really hard. She was proud of herself. She never gave up, not once. Sometimes it doesn't always work out. She would have hated this music. She never wanted her funeral to be sad. She would have wanted us smiling. She said so. I'm sorry. I don't pick the music. I just prepare the bodies. Rest in peace. And off we go to another day. February 14th. 10:14 a.m. That's Valentine's Day, isn't it? I don't care about Valentine's Day. I'm forever alone. Okay. This will be our last one then on the episode. News about the future of Rose and Daughter's funeral home. Oh no. Hi all. It is with a very heavy heart that I write to let you all know that Rose and Daughters will no longer be in business. I had no idea how to start this email, and resources I Googled told me that it would be best and easiest way to break the ice. Be direct, but remorseful, Google said. The truth is, I don't really know what to say. Since my father passed away, I've done my best to keep Rose and Daughters warm and friendly to anyone who chooses to use our services. It's like my memorial to him, the original Rose, in a lot of ways, and you've all become like family, including you, Charlie, our most recent addition. But it's been getting harder to make ends meet. Rent is going up in the neighborhood, and I'm finding less and less like I have the energy for this business. There's a lot of competition from other funeral homes, larger corporations than we are that can take on more business and offer more impressive services. You know the way it goes. So we've been bought. Or I sold. Either way, soon, Hillside Heritage Enterprises, Inc., a company that owns many funeral homes in the city and across the country, will replace Rose and Daughters starting from the beginning of next month. Same building, same name. They're keeping the name Rose and Daughter Funeral Home for tax purposes. Though honestly, I've been trying hard not to just see it as a move on their part to keep up the image that it's a family-run business. I don't know how I feel about that, but I also don't know if there's anything I can do at this point either. Sign the papers, at least my father's legacy is still intact, somehow. They have a good reputation and have agreed to keep you all on. That was one of my stipulations. I would sell as long as you all weren't without a job. I'm sorry I didn't tell you in a more personal way. I would have loved to have a company lunch, but I don't have the heart to tell you in person. This was easier for me. Please understand. Sincerely, Amy Rose. Margaret Hall. Thank you so much. Hi, Amy. I was so internally grateful that you were able to accommodate our request for my sister's funeral. It was a beautiful service. She would have been happy with it. That's such a weird thing to say, isn't it? Thank you again from the bottom of my heart. Charlie, I'd like to think you'd like to see this thank you note. Alright. Again from Amy Rose. Ryan Garcia, I don't know what to do. Hi Amy, I know this email might be a bit odd, but you said if I was ever having troubles, I should reach out, and you would know somebody I could talk to about all of this. I don't know what to do now. I know my grandmother had lived a full, good life and was very happy and that she's not in pain anymore. But I feel empty, Amy. I've never felt this empty before. What am I supposed to do now? I thought I was stronger than this. Can you refer me to someone to talk to? I don't want to freak out my mom right now. She's dealing with enough, with work and the will, and trying to just be the best mom she can. I just need somebody to tell me that it'll be okay. Thank you, and I'm sorry for being an inconvenience. Ryan. Forward to Charlie. I thought I would forward this to you. In situations like this, we typically contact people like Ryan with a grief counselor or other professionals who can really help them. Sometimes we get emails like this when people don't know where else to turn. It's difficult, and family isn't always the most reliable for some people. Usually I would be happy to contact him, but I'm feeling a little tired today, not my usual self. And it would be good for you to start building these kind of relationships of your own. You're a treasure, Charlie. Okay, what a challenger approaches. Charlie, I've been playing a new game when things are slow at work. It's called Tales from the Crypt Sweeper. Get it? Get it? It's like Minesweeper, but way harder. Like, seriously, it's really, really difficult. And I thought my Minesweeper game was on point after working that overnight front desk job at that hotel for 3 years, but I must have gotten rusty. Anyway, instead of mines, you gotta avoid graves so you don't disturb the adorable ghosts. The main character also kinda looks like you. Wanna start a healthy competition? High score gets to pick the restaurant we go to when one of us is in town next. I never actually played the game. I didn't know you could do it. I don't think you can do it. Keep on protecting Earth with green burials. You've lived your life mindful of the environment, doing your best to reduce pollution, and generally help out when you can. So why not continue doing that even in death? At least that's the thinking for a lot of people who are turning green or natural burials. Natural crematories, natural cemeteries are becoming more popular and are focused on a few rules. Mainly, it's that bodies aren't allowed to be embalmed with chemicals that can damage the environment, and bodies must be buried in a biodegradable shroud or casket. Not only is this better for the environment, it's also cheaper. At Union Cemetery in Ontario, Canada, sorry guys, a natural burial is just over $1,000? So better for the people, the environment, just maybe not so good for big businesses. Let's not forget people, this is still a business after all. But really, why go green? Green burials help preserve natural resources, work to reduce carbon emissions, help protect the health of those preparing bodies, and restore/preserve natural habitats. Embalming fluids tend to contain formaldehyde, and funeral directors report a higher incidence of leukemia. Going green and not using toxic chemicals for embalming helps protect funeral directors, while at the same time lessening the impact we have on the environment after we're gone. We here at Funerals Monthly think green burials are pretty cool. What do you think? Reply and let us know. That's actually a really good idea. Cremation pacemaker. Hi, Amy. From Marina Ray, sorry. You asked if there was any special instructions we wanted to pass along. So just please cremate my father. He has a pacemaker too. The doctor told me that this would need to be removed. Hi Charlie, please see the note below about the pacemaker. They can be tricky. Alright, sounds good. I'll take care of it. Alrighty. Mr. Reyes came directly from the hospital, so we don't have to worry about removing any valuables from him, as the family did not provide any for us to include. However, Mr. Reyes has a pacemaker that we'll need to remove for cremation. Why didn't it get removed at the hospital? Are they not allowed to do that? Because pacemakers are batteries, they will explode inside the hot heat of the cremation machine, and we definitely don't want that. Let's start by removing the pacemaker. Click and drag. Careful to make a decision. You can see the pacemaker. Click on the forceps and drag the pacemaker out of the heart. There we go. Put the identification tag in there, and we are good to start a fire. Burn. I'm sorry. I say sorry a lot, but I'm really fucked up. Alright, time to break down some bones. I like how we just swing around like, wait, oh god. I was like, give me the freaking bone, it wasn't letting me drag it. Alright. And good to go. This one doesn't have as much of a detail as the first one, I believe. Let's go pay our respects, even though I was making a whole bunch of inappropriate jokes just now. Alright. Did it say how he died? No, it was just that he wanted to be cremated. Did you ever end up clearing the air with your father? No, we talked a few times, but no, not really. He sounded like a difficult man. He was stubborn, that's just it. Stubborn. What do you want to do after this? It's pretty nice out. Let's change and go find a patio somewhere? Sounds good. I could really use a beer right now. Hey, did I ever tell you about the time we tailgated? It's funny how you can switch conversations. I wonder if he ever liked me. He was nice to me, but I don't know. He never seemed like he really cared if I was there or not. Yeah, it's always hard when you... I'm gonna go back to the conversation release later, so I'm sorry. It's always hard when you never got along with a person, and then they died, and didn't really have a chance to patch things up. Or not knowing if they actually didn't care about you or not. Life sucks that way. I always told him to quit smoking, but of course he never listened to me, so that figures. Rest in peace, yes, stubborn old man. And back to work. February 28th, 10:35 a.m. Just 14 days later. 2 weeks. Alright, I'm actually going to stop this right here. This game is interesting in the fact that you learn so much more about the funeral industry than, you know, what at least I previously knew. So, I don't really know what else to say because I've already said it in the beginning. It's more of a visual novel. It's interesting. And fun to talk about. So, I guess until the next video, bye!